Hey, Ted Lewis, you made it.
I made it. The technically challenged tap dancer is here. Oh,
Wait, is
God.
that you or me?
Let's go. Listen, I'm
Join the
with you.
club.
You that duet, let's do it. You know
Oh
what I mean?
my God, that would be a dream.
Push one, swing two.
Click three.
Click three. Go ahead, girl. We got to get the four, though. We got to get the four.
Yeah, but a tap dancer's best friend is what? The
Oh, come
one.
on. See. Now, you cannot propose marriage online. You cannot propose marriage to everybody that knows that secret is definitely a part of the thing we call tap dance love. Yes, one is your best friend. Yes, it is.
That's right. And it's probably obvious by now that Ted and I go way back. When I first moved to New York, I had the very good fortune of studying with a lot of excellent tap teachers, and Ted was one of them
Wow.
uh, at Faisal's. May it rest in peace.
Hazel, it's no longer there.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
wonderful experience. We did Monday nights. It was
Monday nights,
it was Monday
1A.
nights at Faisal's
Mm-hmm.
in the famous 1A. Was it 1A or A1? It was 1A.
1A.
The
Yeah.
famous
Yeah.
1A studio where Baby Lawrence did his tap dance clinic. Um, you get your feet fixed, where you can get your feet fixed. Where Honey Coles, when I was doing Black and Blue, I asked Honey Coles, my mentor, Finest Henderson, knew all the tap dancers in the show. So I told him I was having a problem with some things. He said, call Honey Coles. So Honey Coles took me up in 1A and kicked my butt. You tap dancers, y'all tap dancers are lucky that you were not in the room with Honey Coles because he will hurt your feelings and make you work. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a wonderful time because it was right after Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk. What year was that, Jenai?
Oh, gosh. My head is in Chicago. 95?
95. I think it was about 95. We were up in there on Monday nights every now and again. I remember one time it turned into a real party. Go ahead.
Well, let me clarify. For me, that was not 95. I got to New York in 2001. Let's not go aging me there. But it,
Excuse me. Excuse me. 2001. Okay, then it was after Bringing the Noise.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
remember one Monday we were up in there, and I had created this thing called my James Brown paradiddle. I got the feeling, baby, uh, baby, I got the feeling, and we were breaking it down, and it just so happens. I mean, we started out with like 10 people in the class, and all of a sudden, I mean, Savion Glover jumped in there, Corita Griffin was in there. I think Andrew Nimmer was in that room, and we were killing it. I mean, people jumped in and they were trying to steal my steps. This. Thank you so much for coming to New York and hanging out with me, baby.
Well, because of that class, I'm proud to say that I have a little Chicago flavor in my own style, thanks to you.
Go,
Um,
baby. Go, baby. Go, baby.
and I wanted to talk to you about that. Tell me about your training at Sammy Dyer and where that flavor comes from.
That flavor comes all the way. Oh my God, this is so exciting because that flavor comes all the way from my mother. Now, my mother was Chicago. I look at dance, and when I look at dance, I look at its connection to the music. And Chicago's jazz history, blues history, gospel history is huge. And tap dance is American dance form. And um, just as jazz affected the world, so did tap dance. And in that, when we talk about the history of American art forms, I just want to clarify for everybody what's beautiful to me as a tap dance artist and as a lover of jazz is the fact that America has affected the world in many, 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 many wonderful ways. And it's not about us against you or you against, it's the conversations that we have together. The beauty of art is that it comes together. Now, Chicago has its own jazz history, its own funk history. Come on now. And my mother was one of the biggest theaters on the south side of Chicago. Chicago used to be segregated by Garfield Avenue. And it was like the folk from one part of town used to come to the south side to hang out with us at Jerry's Farm Tavern, the Regal Theater. And Chicago's Cotton Club was the Club de Lisa. Now, the Club de Lisa, this is really hot for me because this really goes all the way back. My mother was a dancer at the Club de Lisa. Now, I want to tell y'all something right now. My mama was fine, okay? My mama was hot. She had some of the hottest legs, and I've got her legs. Calm down, everybody, calm down. You know, I'm not going to show my legs here, but the Club de Lisa was considered Chicago's Cotton Club. Everybody who was anybody, Joe Williams, Count Basie, Della Reese, Ella Fitzgerald, everybody who was in Nat King Cole, everybody who was in Duke Ellington, who was anybody came through that club. Now, the choreographer and producer of that club and director was Sammy Vashon Dyer. He was my mother's choreographer. He created a group of ladies entitled the Dyerettes. Now, I was born in 1960. Shut up. I know some of y'all know somebody is out there going, I look good. Don't you mess with me. Sammy died in 1960. I was born in 1960. In that year, he turned over the design of the school, the care of the school. Now, what made Sammy Dyer's school so unique was that it wasn't just a dance school. It was a school of the theater. It focused on developing the whole artist in the theater tradition, in the theatrical tradition, America's theatrical tradition. And I have another connection that I have with Sammy Dyer that we have to talk about, because Sammy Dyer, I beat out Brian Stokes Mitchell for the Helen Hayes Award in doing a show called The Hot Mikado. Now, the most exciting part about that is that when the Hot Mikado was on Broadway, there was a challenging show called The Swing Mikado. Now, the Hot Mikado had Bill Robinson, it had Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, Charlie Atkins, who happened to have been one of my first Broadway choreographers, was in that show. He was in the chorus, yes. And the Swing Mikado was choreographed by Sammy Dyer. That is awesome. So he was a Broadway choreographer. I'm a Broadway choreographer. Shirley Hall Bass was the curator of the school from the time that Sammy Dyer passed in 1960. And she taught me, I have to say this to you, I'm absolutely blessed to have been a part of Chicago's dance history. I'm absolutely blessed to have been a student of Shirley Hall Bass's. I'm absolutely blessed to have been a part of Sammy Dyer, in the respect that my mother, the first band that played for the house band at the Club de Lisa, was Red Saunders. Shirley did shows like we did in the tradition of American theater: tap dance, gymnastics, ballet, modern, singing, dancing. We did the whole 9 yards. We had live costumes. We had a live band. And the first band I ever danced with ever was the band who played for my mother, the Red Saunders Band. Shut up. Is that not hot? I am in the tradition of Shirley Hall Bass. I'm doing some writing now, and I'm working on developing shows. So before I leave here, I'm going to be doing my James Brown impression, which is called Please, Please, Please Send the Check, for producers who might be wanting to help develop new shows. I'm writing a jazz love story entitled Swing Upon a Time, based on that story of my mother being at the Club de Lisa and the connection to my life, because dance has absolutely been responsible for everything that is good in my life, tap dance. And I really do appreciate that, Shirley Hall Bass. And the school is now being curated by another one of the Dyerettes, Miss Muriel Foster. In that, my connection to Chicago dance goes to my mother, Finest Henderson II, who was Sammy Davis Jr.'s business partner and one-time manager. He was my mentor as Shirley Hall Bass introduced us. He was responsible for me really understanding that we are all connected through the rhythms of life, because there's rhythm in everything. Don't y'all forget that. There's rhythm in everything. Let's give it a big ad. ooh, boo, ooh, stop, that giga. When you walk, when you talk, when your heartbeat in silence, when you're trying to hear the universe, there's rhythm from within that we are infused by. We have to remember that. Finest Henderson, and Lane Alexander, in that Lane Alexander introduced me to my first Broadway show, for my first live tap show, which was responsible for getting me to Broadway because they illegally taped the show. So see, everything that's wrong ain't wrong. It can come out right. Okay. Uh, Jane Goldberg came to Chicago with a show called Changing Times Tap Company. Shirley Hall Bass invited me and encouraged me to go out into the world and share what I learned at Sammy Dyer. And Lane and I were doing a show together. And he invited me to see Jane Goldberg with Diane Walker, Chuck Green, Buster Brown, Cook and Brown. And and Jane Goldberg. And it was an awesome show. It involved not just tap dance, but comedy. Each one of those dancers had an element of tap dance that really lent itself to the complete tradition of that art form. And it was really beautiful. I mean, Buster Brown did Come Sunday. And the interpretive aspect of that brought the entire audience to tears. Cook and Brown did comedy, which was in the tradition of the vaudevillian performance. Shirley taught all of us all of that. Clarice White Pruitt was my trainer in comedy. So all of this silliness you're seeing right now is Clarice White Pruitt's fault. They used to call Muriel Foster Twinkle Toes.
Yeah.
That's another conversation. She used to terrorize our tap classes. She used to terrorize us. Shirley would be teaching us. Miss Foster would walk through the room and just lay it down. Go, and walk out. And we would all be sitting there going, what was that?
I believe it. I got to talk with her maybe a year or two ago. And
that had to be a treat.
Oh, yeah. It really was.
That's the real history. That's the real history, yes.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And I heard that Clarice was the funny one.
Clarice goosed me on stage when I was 18 years old. She goosed me. It was terrible. I was doing this whole big thing with the Gene Kelly, round the map, I've been a dancer. You know what I mean? We did April and we did American Comes to Paris, or American Swings Paris. I forgot the name of the thing. But I'm standing on stage with Clarice, and she just wanted me to loosen up because, you know, your mentors are there with you. You just don't want to mess up. Oh my God. I mean, my eyes turned into silver dollars. She goosed me. And the whole audience, they had to laugh for 15 minutes because they knew I had to turn, as black as I am, I had to turn 3 shades of pink.
Oh, well, speaking of laughing for 15 minutes, that's what you've had me doing this whole time, plus dropping knowledge. Thank you so much, Ted, for sharing some of the history.
Thank you for really doing this. I think our history is wonderful, but I just want to encourage you and your entire team and everybody out there dancing. The world needs us now. They need us to think different. They need us to understand where we are. That woodshed thing, that thing where we're alone and we contemplate the possibility of our artistic impetus. We need to remember that they need us. It's our conversations with ourselves that helps us fight for that different thought. The world needs our different conversations. They need us to reflect how we can come together in our differences. They need us right now. Art is necessary. We dance, we sing, or we die. Thank you, Bobby McFerrin, for that.
And thanks for quoting him for us.
God bless you, baby.
All right. It's great to see you again,
you
Ted.
Too.
Thank
Just
you so much.
We should talk. More, Jenai. And then you can tell me how much I hurt you in my tap class. They don't know.
All right.
They don't know that the deer in the headlights look was real. People would come to my class and go, "Oh my God, help me, Lord!" Just God bless you, baby.
You too. All right, and your phone will ring soon.
Thank you, baby. Bye, everybody. Keep swinging.